Safety functions, of course, is what we're going to be focused on this morning. We have a number of folks here that you're seeing to my left that will be coming up and presenting information. We're going to be going through each of the functions in our community safety department, and then we're going to lead Q&A, so questions and answers to the tail end. And then we're going to be doing the best part of today's presentation, which will be tours. You'll have a tour of our West Hollywood Sheriff Station, and then you'll also have a tour of our Station 7 with our Los Angeles County Fire Department. So here's kind of the program of the day. So, we're going to do the kickoff and the welcome, which we're doing now. As I mentioned, you're going to have a number of the different functions that make up the Community Safety Department for the City of West Hollywood that are going to be presenting, which will include our Neighborhood and Business Safety Division. So most folks are familiar with the Neighborhood and Business Safety Division being referred to as code compliance. So for those of you that are kind of, knowing or familiar with, or maybe have submitted service requests, et cetera, or made phone calls to our code compliance division, that did change 3 years ago in 2022, so that name change. However, all the functions remain the same. So it was a simple name change, but services remain as is, and you'll be hearing from that division. You'll also be hearing from our public safety division as well in the department. And just to kind of look at those two functions are city staff, and then the rest are our contracted partners as it relates to our security ambassador program, our law enforcement services through our sheriff's department, and of course our fire through our Los Angeles County Fire Department. So as I mentioned, we left about 15 minutes for questions, and then I know there will be a shuttle that typically parks here along San Vicente, just right down the staircase from the library, and then folks will be able to jump on those shuttles. I know the West Hollywood Sheriff Station is right across the street.
I can see it.
I know. I tend to walk most of the time, but we're asking everybody to kind of jump on those shuttles, get onto the West Hollywood Sheriff Station. You'll have a tour of the West Hollywood Sheriff Station. There'll be groups that will be allowed in, smaller groups. And then as soon as that group comes out from the West Hollywood Sheriff Station, you'll get back on the shuttle, and then you'll head to Fire Station 7, and you'll get a tour of that as well. So we'll just kind of be, busing folks over between both of those locations. So as I mentioned, here's the structure of our community safety department. We are a contract city, so the City of West Hollywood, what that means is that for our law enforcement, for our fire protection, and for several other services and programs that the City of West Hollywood offers, which I'm sure you've heard of some from different sessions. And with the additional sessions that you'll be attending, you'll of course be learning more, right, about the different types of services that the City of West Hollywood provides. So there is a difference between contract cities and full service cities. So for service cities, like our partners to the west of us, City of Beverly Hills, they have their own police department, right? They have their own fire department, they have their own water department, et cetera, right? So that is essentially the difference between kind of what you see the City of West Hollywood operating under. And so our first function in our community safety department, I'm gonna ask two of my colleagues here who are code enforcement supervisors to introduce themselves, and then they'll provide a presentation as it relates to this division.
Thank you, Danny. Good morning, everyone. My name is Elisa Lopez. I am a code enforcement supervisor with the City of West Hollywood. I'll be introducing my colleague momentarily. Her name is Jessica Benitez, but I'll introduce her shortly. So, oh, he has the clicker. Thank you. So for code enforcement, our division structure is as follows. We have a manager who we currently do not have at this moment. We have 2 code enforcement supervisor positions. We have 8 code enforcement officer positions overall, 2 admin staff, and a code enforcement technician who assists with the program. Our division operations, we have three functions. We have the code enforcement, which I will be talking about. We have our business license and permitting division, and then as well as our animal care and control function. Sorry about that. So for our areas of focus, we address vacant properties. We have a multifamily property inspection pilot program who is currently conducting inspections in the center of the city. They started on the east end of the city and they're slowly working their way west. Right now, they're currently inspecting the units around Sweetser and Santa Monica area. They're eventually heading to Flores and Kings. I saw you, Ed. I saw you. I saw the eye contact. We also enforce property maintenance, noise complaints, short-term rentals, construction management. With construction management, it entails our construction hours, such as in the city of West Hollywood, they're not supposed to start construction until 8 a.m. and they can work up until 7 p.m. Monday through Friday. Saturdays, they have the same hours, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m., but for interior work, and there's no construction activity on Sundays. We also address our unpermitted construction, our zoning requirements, business licensing, and we also work our major event compliance events such as our WeHo Pride and Halloween. We're out there enforcing illegal vendors and any zoning issues we may have. Our next section we'll go into is business licenses and permits. I'll introduce Jessica Benitez.
Hi, good morning. I hope you can hear me. My name is Jessica Benitez. I'm one of the code enforcement supervisors here for the city of West Hollywood. And another area that we oversee is business licensing and permits. So all businesses in the city of West Hollywood are required to have a business tax certificate through the revenue division or the finance department. Out of the 34 business license categories, they are required to have a regulatory business license through the Neighborhood and Business Safety Division. Some of these business licenses include extended hours business licenses, cannabis business licenses, massage parlors. We have some extended hour, I did mention extended hours business licenses, and also public eating establishments such as restaurants, bars, nightclubs. So all these businesses are required to go through a series of business license inspections. Some include background check from the Sheriff's Department. Some also include a public hearing before the Business License Commission. And moving to the Business License Commission, the Business License Commission is a quasi-judicial body, which our slide went blank. Well, I'll go ahead and go through the slides. I think you have copies. So our Business License Commission is a quasi-judicial body, and they review the extended hour and cannabis business licenses. Wonderful, it is up. Give me 1 second. There it is. Apologies for the technical difficulties that we had. So as I was saying, the Business License Commission also is responsible in reviewing suspensions, revocations of business licenses. The next item that we oversee is the extended hours construction permits. As my partner was saying, any construction that requires work after the approved hours is required to obtain extended hours construction permits. Special event permits, it's another function that we oversee. So any business in the city that is required to have, let's say, dance, entertainment, music, or food that is not otherwise approved under the land use or entitlements. So let's say at a gas station, they want to have a promotion, they want to bring a DJ, that is something that would require a special event permit. So every business is allowed to have 16 special event permits. Which of those permits they go through a series of reviews through our different partners in the Sheriff's Department, Fire Department, and also parking division. Last year, we processed 466 special event permits. Yes, that's a lot. And also just a quick fact as well, as my colleague was mentioning, last year we processed 8,000 service requests in the code enforcement unit. So we are a busy unit. So with that, we provided a quick summary of our functions, and you're probably asking, how do we contact your division? Who do we call? So our code enforcement division is available 7 days a week. As you can see on the screen, we start at 7 o'clock in the morning. On Mondays through Wednesdays, we're here until midnight. Thursday and Sunday until 3 a.m. Friday and Saturday until 4 a.m. Our business license and permitted unit is available Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. I know on Fridays we close at 5, but we are available here pretty much around the clock. So if you want to file a complaint, whether it's a property maintenance or if you have questions regarding our services, you may contact our complaint line at 323-848-6516. Also, you can contact our office at 323-848-6437 or via email at code@weho.org or the famous CD app, which is our official app. The businesses in our community is able to quickly file any issues in our community. So with that, I conclude our presentation, and I'll turn it over to our Public Safety Manager, Anita Shandy.
Could we ask a quick question about your presentation?
Definitely. I think right now we're going to go over all the presentations, and at the end, we're going to go to Q&A. Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica and Elisa. Good morning, everybody. My name is Anita Shandy. I'm the public safety I am the public safety manager with the City of West Hollywood. Thank you for joining us this morning. So our public safety division, the main mission of our division within the City of West Hollywood is to ensure that we have all of the appropriate public safety measures in place to protect the city against any disasters or emergencies. And we do that in collaboration with our sheriff's department, our fire department, our allied security team, and our code enforcement team. So it's a constant conversation, constant collaboration to ensure the appropriate measures are in place to have the city covered in all areas and make sure that any issues that the city faces, that we're prepared to face them for the community. We do have a pretty small but mighty team within our city, within our public safety division. We have an emergency management coordinator, Margarita Kostanovich, and we also have a public safety specialist, Jessica Anukum. Hopefully you've had the opportunity to meet them, but we work together, again, alongside with our partners to ensure that the city remains safe at all times. Our division operations, so within our city, we are in collaboration constantly with our sheriff's department, our fire department, our allied security team, our code enforcement team. So there's not a day that goes by that we are not in constant communication throughout the day, multiple times a day. As you all see and know, throughout the city, things change, times change. Different situations arrive in different areas of the city, so we're constantly allocating resources, changing deployment, making sure that we are constantly addressing issues that arise in the city, and we do that with collaboration with all of our teams that you see here today. We also have our Public Safety Commission. Big shout out to Catherine Ng. She's one of our Public Safety Commissioners. That we are proud to have on our commission. So our Public Safety Commission is comprised of 7 appointed commissioners by City Council, and we meet once a month, usually on the 4th Monday of every month at City Council chambers, and we go through and dissect every data piece that our public safety partners supply and share with us, and through that, we're able to kind of talk through and provide recommendations and kind of assess what is happening in the city, pay attention to trends, and just make sure that we're all continuing the dialogue related to public safety. Our Public Safety Commission does also have a portion for public comments, much like we do in our city council meetings. So there's a lot of great dialogue that happens there with our community members. So please, if you are available, if you are able, join our Public Safety Commission meetings. They're very valuable. You're able to share information with directly to our commission, directly to our public safety partners, and it helps us keep up to date on what is happening on our community, and again, helps us assess our resources and deployment with our public safety partners. Emergency preparedness is also a big component of our division, and that includes internal and external. So when I reference internal, I mean our city staff. We do a lot of training with our city staff, and the reason we do that is if we're ready on the city side and we're prepared as staff, then we're able to then serve our community in the event of an emergency. And then we also do our best to also offer opportunities of emergency preparedness and training for our community as well, so that they are able to respond in the event that an emergency occurs prior to our public safety partners arriving on scene. Public safety, what does it mean? A lot of times people assume public safety means fire or police, and it definitely does, but truly there are so many components to make a successful community when it comes to public safety. The biggest piece to me is all of you, our residents, our community members, our businesses, our hospitals, our commission, our neighborhood watch groups. We have one of our captains here, Ed Hallman, as well. So all of these pieces of the puzzle are what make truly a community safe. And all of the pieces of the puzzle are the same size for a reason, because they're equally as important. There's no one segment of it that matters more than the other, and we're truly unable to create a safe community without every one of these pieces. So thank you to all of you for being here, learning more about the community. This is how we create this partnership with each other to make sure that we can ensure a safe community for everybody. Community engagement and training. So again, we offer a lot of opportunities for our community members to prepare themselves and get trained so that they are equipped to respond to an emergency, whether it's happening in their community, in their home, if you're out and about. So we have CERT training that our fire department offers, and that is actually starting on November 4th is our next session, and it's going to be at Plummer Park. That's incredible, really, really, truly detailed training. It's not a quick thing. It's a 4-week really hands-on course that teaches you how to be prepared in an emergency, how to help your neighbors, your community, because the truth is, in the event of a big emergency or a big disaster, our public safety partners are their resources are going to be tapped. They're not going to be able to be everywhere at the same time. So the more people in our community are trained to kind of be self-sufficient and help their neighbors, help themselves prior to our public safety partners being able to respond on scene, the better. So if you are available, please reach out. We'd be happy to get you signed up for the CERT training that starts on November 4th. We also offer CPR, first aid, and AED training, which ironically is happening right now as we speak here at the ARC. There's a session taking place right now. So that's a great opportunity too. And you never know when something can happen, if it's your own family member or you're out in public, but those few seconds, if someone is having a heart attack or choking or something is happening, those first few seconds of administering CPR can truly change the outcome of that person's life. So again, the more people in our community that are trained with all of these skill sets, the more we can all support each other in keeping each other safe. We also have active shooter training, and that is coming up on December 6th. And that is going to be here at the council chambers. So again, please feel free to sign up to join that. It's completely free. It'll be from 10 to noon on December 6th, and it gives everybody just kind of tips on what to do in the event of an active shooter, where to go, what to do, how to, so that in the event that it happens, you're not panicked, you're prepared, you've already thought through this, you've already, practiced, you've already done these things. So if you are available Saturday, December 6th, please join us for that training as well. We also host a lot of meetings, a lot of community meetings, town halls, depending on what is happening in the community. We have had some town hall meetings related to a lot of the new public safety technology items that we've brought to the city, just to make sure that the community is informed, that they're able to provide their input. We recently had a few community meetings and job fairs with our new allied team. So we're constantly, depending on what is happening within public safety, are hosting meetings so that our community stays engaged, and most importantly, that we can hear their feedback on all of the new happenings related to public safety. And then we also have some great events. We have our annual awards ceremony, and that is an opportunity where we get to highlight a lot of our public safety partners that have gone above and beyond the call of duty within the year, and we tell really great stories and recognize a lot of our great partners that we have here today. So it's a fun event. And then National Night Out, Ed's wearing his t-shirt. I love it. So National Night Out is a wonderful night that is hosted by our Neighborhood Watch group captains. It's a heavy lift, and they all do it voluntarily on their own time, and it provides an opportunity for the community to come out. Our public safety partners are also there, and it's just a nice night to collaborate, to get to know each other, get to meet your neighbors, get to meet our public safety partners, because the more we're having conversations when emergencies are not happening, the better we're able to communicate and work together as a team in the event something does. Emergency response and preparedness. So this is one of the bigger components of our division. The city has a local hazard mitigation plan in place. We are currently working on also updating our emergency response plan as well. And so what these plans do, especially the local hazard mitigation plan, is we have really identified what are the major potential threats that the city of West Hollywood could face. What are the things that could potentially happen? And what we are constantly working on as a team internally in the city and with our public safety partners all the time is walking through each one of these situations, whether they're natural disasters, man-made threats, situations. And the mindset is always, what can we first do to prevent it from happening? If we can do something to avoid it from happening in our community, avoid it from happening in our city, and that would be the best case scenario, is if we prevent it from even happening. Second step would be preparedness. So if it happens, are we prepared to face it? How are we going to address it? How are we going to stand, face the issue? How are we going to get our community to be able to get through whatever the issue is that happens? And then the next step is recovery. So now that it's happened, how do we get our community back to normal? How do we recover from what the community has now faced? So in each of these situations, a lot of these are natural disasters, so we can't always prevent those, but there are some situations in law enforcement that we deal with that are preventable. So it's a balance of trying to figure out what you can prevent, and then making sure your community is prepared in the event that it happens, and then how do we quickly recover so that we're not in this place for too long, so that our community is able to move forward. Events and communication. I know I've said a lot. It's Saturday morning, it's the weekend. You can forget everything I just said, and I'm okay with it, other than this. For me, the biggest and most important component of public safety is communication. If something were to happen and we can't share with you what to do, where to go, where to get resources, what is happening, what the threats are, what the updates are. That puts us in a really vulnerable situation for our community, for our residents. And so our biggest goal is to make sure that in the event something happens, we're able to reach you. We don't want you getting your information from the rumor mill, from the neighbors, from social media. We want you to hear it directly from us. We want you to hear it directly from our public safety partners. And the way we can ensure that happens is if everybody can please text your zip code to 888-777. That ensures that if the city or any of our public safety partners sends out a message during an emergency, you will receive it directly. These messages go to landlines as well. So if we have, senior community that may not be very savvy with their cell phones, it will call their landlines. It'll be a voice message. So please sign up. Please share this number with your neighbors, with your friends, with your families. This is a kind of a citywide, not just West Hollywood, but all of Los Angeles kind of covered program that's called Everbridge Nixle. So whatever zip code that you're in, and you can sign up for multiple zip codes as well. So if you have family in a certain zip code and you want to be aware of what's happening in that area, you can sign up for multiple zip codes. So please sign up for this notification so that we're able to communicate with you in the event that something were to happen. And then the fun part of our job is the events. It takes a lot of planning, a lot of collaboration, a lot of meetings, but once the event happens and we're seeing people out and having a great time and being safe and it's a successful event, that just makes everything worthwhile. So we work with Halloween coming around the corner. We've been working really hard with our public safety partners to ensure we have the right public safety measures in place to ensure a fun event. Of course, Pride, we have LA Marathon, Ciclavia, and tomorrow is actually AIDS Walk LA. So that's going to be a big fun event too. So just please be mindful of some street closures also that will be happening in the area here tomorrow. So with that, I will pass it on to our Allied Universal Security Ambassador Services team, and thank you very much.
Good morning, West Hollywood. My name's Matthew Prokopovich. Can you hear me? Are we good? I'm the Regional Director of Operations for Allied Universal. And we're here today to give a brief presentation on the Security Ambassador Program for the City of West Hollywood and, well, what can I say, this amazing community. So we do have our leadership team here today, and they're going to be integral in the success of this program. So without further ado, I'll introduce Alan Gonzalez, who's the client manager. He's going to be overseeing the account. We've got Valerie Chavez. She is the general manager. I don't know, you've probably met Valerie. And she works, she's going to be managing the day-to-day operations. And a big shout out to Jackie Hernandez. For those who know her, she's been part of the program for several years. And she knows the West Hollywood and the community very well. So that's our structure. To round off our management team, we do have 3 exceptional team leads that work across shifts to manage the day-to-day operations alongside Valerie and Jackie. So as part of our commitment to the Ambassador Program, it's really imperative that we train and we manage and support the right people for this particular community. And that goes into sort of 2 phases. We have our standard state-level training package, which is the top 3 there. And then we have our specific training for this community and its special needs, which is LGBTQ+ sensitivity training, the opioid overdose and the use of Narcan, as well as managing with the unhoused community. This is delivered by a number of different methods. This is delivered by a number of different methods. So we have a virtual instructor, we have in-person training, we have on-the-job training, as well as scenario-based learning, and we have an online portal which makes our officers, and this is ensure compliance. And not only do we get our officers trained and skilled and well-rounded, but they are ready for interacting with this wider community. The metrics, everything's tracked for compliance, and that ensures that we are always accountable and transparent in the way that we deliver our training. I'm now going to hand over to Alan Gonzalez, who's going to go into a bit more detail about the operations.
Thank you, Matt. I am Alan Gonzalez, Client Manager for West LA region, and I'll be working with Valerie as we continue to take over operations for the program. I'll cover a little bit about our technology package that we do use to oversee the program to make sure we are meeting all our metrics, meeting all our goals. Helios is a proprietary system, can only be utilized by Allied Universal. It is our system. It is highly customizable. We use it for various things: tracking compliance, remote management, trend analysis, creating reports, custom workflows. It's all, again, very customizable as the needs of the program evolve. This can evolve as well with it. And I'm sorry, let me grab that. This all ties into us having a cohesive team. Unified messaging, also part of it. So basically keeps everybody on the same page. As far as our team, quick note, and it hasn't been mentioned yet today, but I know the city's doing a very good job of communicating the phone number, the new phone number, out to the wider community, 323-848-6500. It follows the same phone number convention as other city agencies, 323-848, followed by the last 4 digits. That number is good for calls and texts, okay? And the number's getting out there. We are receiving a good amount of calls and texts, so that's great news. In addition to that, the City of West Hollywood official app also is available. There is a link there to connect with us via the app as well, okay? And what do? Well, 24/7, round-the-clock operations to support community patrol and address incidents as they happen, right? Keeping the streets clear, keeping people from occupying the sidewalks and obstructing the flow, taking calls, responding to calls, proactive uniform bike and foot patrols throughout the city, and that you've probably seen us around. We've got updated uniforms that we selected in conjunction with the city, and Valerie will go over a little bit about that. And you can see a picture of us right there. That's our new uniform scheme. Okay. Collaborating with the city's unhoused services program, also connect individuals with support and resources. Some of our locations that we serve as examples right here at the ARC, Plummer Park, the pickup line, which is just resumed, as many of you may be aware. City council meetings, advisory board and commission meetings, and of course, the various events that we have here in the city of West Hollywood. Pride, AIDS Walk, which is coming up just tomorrow. We'll be a part of all those. We will be assisting the city with our partners in law enforcement and code enforcement. And with that, I'll pass it along to Valerie.
Good morning, West Hollywood. As part of our ongoing commitment to enhancing community safety and engagement, we've successfully deployed a team to public space. This initiative marks an important step towards ensuring our operation remains visible, responsive, and aligned with the expectation of both the city and the community. Our highly visible security officers, many of whom come from prior law enforcement backgrounds, along with our strategically positioned kiosk and roving patrol officers, and dedicated ambassadors, they all play a key in maintaining a strong, approachable presence through the community. In addition to that, I'm sure many of you have already noticed our uniform is different. As far as our SSOs, they are in all black. Our kiosk and rover ambassadors, they are in yellow and black. And our leads, they are wearing white and black. Together, these professionals continue to build trust, deter unwanted activity, and provide timely assistance to residents, visitors, and local businesses. As part of our commitment, we're also proud to maintain active partnership with the West Hollywood Division of the County Sheriff Department. the Los Angeles County Fire Department West Hollywood Division, and the City of West Hollywood Code Enforcement. Alongside these partnerships, our team continues to focus on helping people by connecting those that are in need with essential services, including transportation, housing, and mental health resources. Together with these efforts, we're here to help build a stronger, safer, and more connected community. With that, I pass it on to Matt.
Yeah, so in summary then, the security ambassador is a vital part of the West Hollywood community, making sure that it's safe and welcoming for everyone. And I'll speak on behalf of everyone, that's the management and the ambassadors. We're really, really proud to serve this community, and we're looking forward to a really, really bright future here at West Hollywood. And thank you for your time.
Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Sergeant Jason Duran. I am one of the sergeants. Some of you know me, obviously. I'm one of the sergeants at the West Hollywood Sheriff Station. I am your service area sergeant, which means I work closely with our public safety partners here in the city of West Hollywood and in the community in general. So what I'm going to do today is just give you a brief overview of what the Sheriff's Department looks like here in West Hollywood and kind of what goes on on a daily basis here. So the first thing I would kind of want to do is just kind of give you an overall structure of what the station looks like. We are a contract city here, so that means the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department contracts with the city of West Hollywood to provide police services. Typically, a regular city, a non-contracted city would have what they call a chief of police that would be in charge of their stations. We have a captain. That captain operates like a chief of police for West Hollywood. Underneath the captain, we have lieutenants. Those are like our watch commanders that you would call if there was an issue going on. Below the watch commanders and lieutenants is our sergeants. Our sergeants oversee our deputies in the field and at the station. And then we have our patrol deputies. Our patrol deputies work on various shifts throughout the day, 24 hours a day, obviously. And some of our deputies work in special teams, which I'll get into shortly. Part of a training program for a deputy on the department consists of a post-certified academy. What POST is police officer standards and training. That POST training is a state mandated training, and it's regulated by the state. Every police officer in the state of California gets that basically the exact same training. It's not exact because it's taught in different areas, but the curriculum is provided by the state of California. Once they've completed that post-academy training, they graduate, they either go to the jails or the courts, and then they come out to patrol. Once they come out to patrol, they receive a 6-month field training program. That's when they're working really closely with a seasoned, tenured deputy that's training them out in the field. And once they've completed that, they can work on their own and be in a car by themselves out in the field, policing the streets of West Hollywood. We also have continuous on-duty training. Things like weapons training, de-escalation training, force training, a lot of different things based on new laws, new Senate bills that have passed. The world is a revolving place. A lot of things have changed over the last few years, so that continuous training is vital for our personnel to be up to date with the current laws and the current regulations for police officers in the state of California. We also receive specialized training, LGBTQ training. Our department a few years ago developed an LGBTQ training based on some feedback from not just West Hollywood, but other communities. So our department developed this training, and that training has been recognized as part of our post training now. So it's being taught statewide, but more specifically with the Sheriff's Department, very specifically here at West Hollywood Station. Everybody that gets assigned here to the West Hollywood Sheriff Station has to go through that training. So everybody is going to have it. We're going to have a new course, I think, sometime in November for the newly assigned personnel, but everybody at West Hollywood gets that training. That training touches some of the hot topics, such as transgender issues with law enforcement and how we interact. So West Hollywood, 1.9 square miles, about 35,000 residents. I call it the biggest little city in the county. Very robust. It's very, very dense. A lot of people here, but a very small square mileage. We also patrol Universal Substation, which is up at the Universal Studios. We cover the Universal Studios park itself and their back lot. So what that is City Walk, the theme park, that's all part of West Hollywood Station. We have personnel from our station that's up there. It's not part of the contract here in West Hollywood, but they work out of our station. So some of the resources that we provide from the Sheriff's Department as part of the contract, the city doesn't pay extra for this, it's just part of the contract, the things that we provide. We provide extra traffic enforcement motorcycle teams that'll come in and do special operations when we're having issues with traffic, for example, DUIs or distracted driving, scooters, things like that. We bring in motor teams, which are motorcycles from other units, to come out here and help and enforce those laws. Canine teams are available, searching for drugs, searching for guns, things like that. We have all those available to us at different times. There's none here assigned to our station, however, we can get them in here at any time we need. Air support, that's the helicopter. We don't have a dedicated helicopter here, however, we have the ability to call in the helicopter. A lot of people kind of complain about when they hear that helicopter noise. For the most part, that isn't us, because we don't have a helicopter here quite that often. It's generally other media or maybe LAPD that you're hearing out there. SEB, that's our Special Enforcement Bureau. That's referred to like as our SWAT team. That team is also available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week if there is some type of a tactical incident and we need them to respond. Arson explosives detail. They come out for anything, suspicious packages. They come out to do pre-screening for major events such as Pride, LA Marathon, Halloween, all those things. Our arson explosives detail will be out here in the city. And then Emergency Operations Bureau, I'm going to touch on that in just a second. That is a team of a unit, that I should say, that works very closely with our station to handle major events, and I'll touch on that in just a second. Special teams here at the station. So we have 3 special teams that are here at the station. The City of West Hollywood contracts us to have these teams here and available for you. So our community-oriented policing and problem-solving team, that's our COPS team. They are a daytime team of 5 deputies. They work very closely with the city to deal with quality of life issues. They deal a lot with unhoused issues. They work very closely with our West Hollywood Cares team, Healthcare in Action, and Insensia. They work really closely with all those teams to try to address the unhoused issues that are going on within our city. Obviously, it's not just our city, it's a surrounding issue as well, but any issue here in the city, that's what they deal with. We also have our entertainment policing team, we call it EPT. That team is another team of 5 deputies. They work at nights and the weekends for the majority of their shift. What they're assigned to do is they work the bars, the clubs, the entertainment district. More so now the Rainbow District, because that's where the most robust part of our city is when it comes to the bars and the nightlife. What they do is they make contact with the local security there. They do foot patrols. They come in contact with patrons. They're primarily dedicated just to that. However, we do use them for other things based on city needs. Next thing is our mental evaluation team, MET. West Hollywood was the first city to contract for our own MET unit. Typically, that MET unit would have to come from countywide. They could be coming from anywhere, Palmdale, Lancaster. They would take a long time to get here. And what that team is a trained deputy with hundreds and hundreds of hours of mental health awareness training, partnered with a clinician that can go out and evaluate people for mental illness or mental issues that are going on, and they deal with them in the field or maybe at a residence. It doesn't matter what it is, they can respond to those calls. They're a really valuable asset for us in patrol because they can deal with a lot of the hard issues that we have to deal with now in law enforcement, where mental issues in crime is 2 separate things. We try to separate ourselves from those things, but our mental evaluation team puts that little barrier, or not a barrier, but puts that little link to help us out in those situations. Public safety technology. The City of West Hollywood has been very gracious and very helpful with technology. Very soon, we're going to be hopefully launching a drone program. It's going to be called a DFR, Drone as First Responder. There's some things being worked out right now with our department with that program. What's going to happen with that drone as a first responder program is hopefully what's going to happen is the drone will launch whenever there's an emergency, a priority call, get overhead, relay that information to our station, to our real-time watch center, which I'm going to touch on in a second. We also are going to have fixed real-time cameras, which will be in the very near future. Those real-time cameras will show live video feeds from over 50 locations in the city. Those video feeds will be seen in our real-time watch center at the station, which you guys will be seeing later. That real-time watch center is going to be a small room basically dedicated for cameras and drone usage for monitoring and reviewing all that information and technology that's coming into our station now. Events. I know you've already heard of all of the events that go on here. West Hollywood Pride definitely is the biggest event of all of them that we have. It's a 3-day, thousands and thousands of people. What I talked about earlier with Emergency Operations Bureau, they coordinate with us here at the station on a one-on-one level. They provide staffing for us. The station here is a very small station. We're not able to handle such events like this by ourselves. What Emergency Operations Bureau does is they assist us in staffing and organizing these events. For example, Pride, Halloween, they bring in hundreds and hundreds of deputies from other units to come here and work in West Hollywood to assist us with these huge events, because we would not be able to handle it on our own if we were left by ourselves with this. Without EOB, it would be impossible. So EOB is a great asset for us because they bring in all these other deputies from other places and assist us with these large events. LA Marathon, 25,000 participants, fans, a lot of people here in the city. Like I said, AIDS Walk tomorrow. Happy to see all you guys there. I'll be out there bright and early. So those are just some of the major events that go on here in the city. I guess I'll be back for questions, but I'm going to turn it over to the LA County Fire Department, Battalion Chief Price.
All right, good morning. Thank you for having me. My name is Battalion Chief Kevin Price. I'm one of your battalion chiefs here for the LA County Fire Department. I'm gonna give you a quick overview of what we have to offer here for the city of West Hollywood. City of West Hollywood is considered, we're in Battalion 1. This is Battalion 1. The Battalion 1 is comprised of 6 different cities, for which I am the battalion chief over those 6 cities. So we cover Universal, View Park, Winter Hills, Baldwin Hills, Ladera Heights, and also Marina Del Rey. I'm sorry, 7. Sorry about that. Good catch. But we have 6 stations. So we have 2 here in West Hollywood, and then we cover the other cities. So with that being said, it's a vast space that I have to cover, and for which I can't do it without having good firefighters here in the city in which we do. So this is our structure. Like the Sheriff's Department, we do have an assistant fire chief who is considered your fire chief for the city, and that's Assistant Fire Chief Drew Smith. And we're broken down in 3 different shifts. We have 3 different battalion chiefs. We have 2 at this time. We have a vacancy in 1, but just note that there is a battalion chief on duty at all times. And then we have our 2 stations where we have one captain at Fire Station 7, and then 2 captains at Fire Station 8 at all times. Here are 2 West Hollywood fire stations. We have Fire Station 7, which is located right here on San Vicente. That's the one that you'll get the tour through. It's our newest fire station here in the city. And then one of our oldest fire stations in the county is Fire Station 8, which is probably considered a historical landmark. Because it's been around a long time. There's a lot of history in that station. A lot of those guys that work at that station, it's old and dilapidated. They take pride in being there, and they love being there. So that's Fire Station 8. At each station, we have, at Station 8, we have 13 firefighters on duty at one time. And at Fire Station 7, we have 6, including myself. That's where I'm housed out of, Fire Station 7. Our district here in West Hollywood, like Sergeant said, West Hollywood is 1.9 square miles. It's a big little city. We're completely surrounded by different agencies. LA City surrounds us, touches us on 3 different sides, and then Beverly Hills on our west side. So in the event that we do have emergencies like structure fires, things, we do have a mutual aid agreement that we get response from LA City and also Beverly Hills. And we work in conjunction with them to mitigate any situation that we have. We also have outside resources coming from Inglewood, from View Park. They're also coming in to assist. Here's a breakdown, a couple of statistics from 2024. As you can see, our fire department, that's throughout our entire fire department. And then, but we do go on it looks like we had approximately, what was that, 130, what was that, I'm sorry, $130 million lost in back in 2024. So it's probably even more this year with the Eden fire that we had to we were a part of this year. So that just gives you some statistics on all the responses that we go on throughout the county. Here's a breakdown of our different divisions that we have, our emergency operations, training, and services. Emergency operations, we have our firefighters, dispatchers, emergency medical service paramedics, our lifeguards, urban search and rescue, air and wildland, and heavy equipment, and hazardous materials response and homeland security. And these are all resources that you guys get with the contract. Again, we're a contract city, so this is what we get from all our outside responses in the event that we need those services. We provide a fire academy, fire suppression aid academy. Fire suppression aids are the wildland firefighters that you'll see out there with their hand tools and putting out fires and things like that. What else we have? And through our training division, we do our normal drills that we do, hose lays, pumping. You may see the fighters out in the community doing training. They'll go to buildings, walk buildings to familiarize themselves with the structures and things like that in the event that we have an incident here in the city. Because here in West Hollywood, we have a lot of high-rise, so high-rise is pretty much our specialty with this battalion being in the city. So we do take pride in making sure that we're up on those high-rise incidents. And then also some of the services that we provide fire prevention, our forestry division, hazmat, and then we have some educational programs. We have an Explorer program for youths 15 years old to 20 years old. And then we also have a Women's Fire Prep Academy and a CERT program that we work with our communities liaisons and helping train our citizens in the event that we have a large-scale disaster. We can call upon you citizens to come out and give you and help and assist. And that's all I have, and I'll be around for questions and questions. Thank you very much.
So just in summary and wrapping up, as you can see, I'm very fortunate and blessed to be able to work with such talented folks that you all heard from today. I know Anita did a fantastic job explaining the major events, and I think everybody can kind of see how that all comes together from a unified command post perspective. And so, as mentioned, I mean, tomorrow's AIDS Walk, we have Halloween that's just around the corner. I can't tell you how many countless hours go into planning for the preparedness of our emergency action plan in the event that there is something that does occur. We are working around the clock, 24/7. Saturdays, Sundays, days off, after hours, that doesn't exist for me, that I will say, but I enjoy it, and everybody here enjoys it as well. Everybody knows that's what it takes to make sure that we're enhancing and maintaining our community safety in our city. And so with that, we are going to move into questions. I do want to just be mindful of the time. As I mentioned early on, we do have the tours, and we need to kind of stick to that schedule. It does impact our West Hollywood Sheriff Station. It impacts, right, our Fire Station 7 as well.
And so we'll take maybe about 5 minutes worth of questions, but just know that you are going to have our community safety partners that'll be touring. And so if you have questions, you want a sidebar, we'll be there as well to kind of filter those questions as well. So with that, I'll open it up, and I know we have another microphone kind of floating around.
A couple of questions. One is for the Allied Universal contract. I'm curious how many people actually make up the entirety of the enforcement division. I'm also curious how much that contract is worth. Just for curiosity. I'm also curious about the dispatch and how these various special teams are dispatched. If someone calls 911, does the dispatch determine who is deployed, or are there specific contact phone numbers for civilian population or business owners to get in touch with these different divisions?
Yeah, great. Thank you for the question. So in terms of how many security ambassadors we have as a part of the city's contract, we have roughly about 85 full-time, more or less, positions. But of course, you could have a little bit in excess of that, just to provide that extra coverage if somebody's calling out or we have unexpected kind of turnover as it relates to that. Our contractual services right now is a little over 5.7 million for our security ambassador program. That's what it was last budget year. We maintain that same budget year as well for this year. And then lastly, in terms of the question as it relates to if you do contact, let's say the West Hollywood Sheriff Station, right, for a certain call for service. So yes, that dispatcher or whoever's on the receiving end at the West Hollywood Sheriff Station, if it's something that's maybe a noise-related type of report, then they will inform that individual calling, hey, contact code enforcement, right? Code enforcement is working certain hours, as was mentioned early on, and so they know those hours of operation. We always have a code enforcement officer working. If it's something where it necessitates having to have a sheriff's deputy go out and respond, then of course they're going to dispatch a deputy sheriff that's going to go out there. They're never really going to divert somebody that's calling the station to contact the security ambassador program. That is not going to happen. So generally speaking, you're always going to get a sheriff's deputy response, with the exception of something that kind of falls under the purview of code enforcement. Now for our security ambassador, a number that was flown around, that is a new number, so please update your contacts. I seen everybody, when Anita was mentioning kind of the Nixle number, right, 888-777, but please update that security ambassador number. It's 323-848-6500. You can call, you can text. We did expand the ability for folks to be able to reach the security ambassador program through the city's official app. That is new as well. And so you'll see on the kiosks, the podiums, similar to what you're seeing here to my right, around the community, around town, you'll see those kiosks. They do have the new number that's now reflected, that's been wrapped and rebranded on those kiosks, but please update that number and please pass that on to other neighbors and community members as well. Yes?
Quick question, on the code enforcement designation, the area of focus for the multi-family property inspections, that's my understanding that would include a lot of rent stabilized buildings and rent control buildings. I was wondering if you could let myself and everyone else know who might be watching how that inspection process is working. Are people just going building to building from the street, kind of looking in like, oh, that looks good, or are we making appointments with landlords and managers to actually walk around the grounds of these multifamily units and notice any code enforcement things that might be going on?
Great question. So the way that the program is working is we have 2 assigned officers that go unit to unit, and they post the building stating that they're doing outreach there. They also post individual flyers on each door, so the residents could contact them to conduct an internal inspection of their unit. There are some buildings where tenants do not want to get involved. However, part of the program is to do an inspection of the common areas. So the officers will do that, but they will also do individual units if the tenant requests that. So right now, they're currently On Sweetser and like Delampre area, they're slowly working their way west.
And the goal is to do an inspection for all multifamily buildings in the city.
Yes, it is. So we still have 2 more years pending, but it takes time for them to work their way west. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Blue, and my question is about how do you ensure quality through a judgment of, like, I guess for an example, if there's a parking issue, that the ambassadors might be dispatched rather than a police officer because it's a simple parking thing. But the opinion of the ambassador might differ from the police officer. For example, I parked in West Hollywood, and I asked a police officer, do you think I'll be fine here? Because I am parked a little funny. He was like, yeah. He's like, the neighbors might complain. And then my car was there for a few days, and then I get it towed. And the reason why I was blocking the driveway, but cars were coming and going all week for those 3 days that my car was there. So it was wrongfully towed, and I'm like, well, whose fault is that? Like, was it the ambassador? Was it the police? Was it the city? Was it the Brads and the Karens that live in our community? You know, I'm not really sure. So how do we mitigate that? Because now I'm on house, and now that's another problem in our community. And is it being created by our own community members?
So thank you for the question. So our parking enforcement services actually fall under a different department, and so that's not something that's under the community safety department. So if somebody were to contact Allied, right, our security ambassador program, they would not be dispatched to that call because our security ambassadors do not have the ability to issue citations, let alone parking citations. So that is only specific to our parking enforcement officers. Now, for a sheriff's deputy, of course, does have the ability to issue a traffic related citation or make a tow, but so do our parking enforcement officers, right? So, that would actually fall on whoever did the tow, and so there is an appeal process. As there in any sort of citation that's issued or if a vehicle's towed, there is an ability for somebody to kind of go through that process and have it reviewed. And then as a part of that review process, right, the review authority would then opine on, right, a decision that's made. And so if it was a wrongful tow, then go through that process and they'll be able to communicate that with you. We can certainly provide you that information right after this Q&A. Sure. I know we're getting close to time. One last question? One last question. So sorry.
Will everyone be here from every department for us to chat with?
Yes. Yes, we will. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. First, I want to say to Captain Smith, right? For CERT, if it's possible, I know like you all require that people show up for all 4 weeks. I actually think it'd be super helpful if you just let people drop in, because that information going out to the community is super valuable, whether or not they get all of the information or just even one week's worth. So I think that's worth re-examining. And then next, I'm going to credit Danny Rivas, which I always do, with the relative safety that we all enjoy here in the city. Before I get into that, I'm going to go back to code, because I meant to say that. Our code department works 7 days a week, which is so unique and practically non-existent in most other cities, from what I understand. And then going back to Danny Rivas and all of our safety partners, I think that we have the luxury of taking so much of it for granted, how much is going on out there and how much safety we operate under. So as always, I give you and all of our partners credit. Allied, I have a few comments. I'm gonna save those for you guys. But I actually wanted to ask Director Rivas if it's possible for you to make us aware of how often there are really big threats. How often are you all protecting us from crazy ass shit that is happening that we're not experiencing? And I know in general you probably can't talk about that, but I'm wondering, I guess, how often we're facing big threats that you all are protecting us from.
Well, thank you for that, Catherine. And certainly, I tell you, as I mentioned earlier, I'm very fortunate to, again, just work side by side, each and every single one of the folks that provide services. So appreciate that. And with all of you as well. I mean, you guys are great partners as well. And a lot of time you've always heard, see something, say something, right? And so we rely heavily
on community members and that rapport and that relationship. So it definitely takes a village, and so thank you for that. Yeah, we can't speak into kind of specifics about any time that we do have any sort of credible threats. In most instances, it's not a credible threat. We'll end up hearing something from a community member, or maybe there's something that our crime analysts at the sheriff's station and whatnot kind of find, and so there's a vetting process as a part of that, and just the best thing is for us is to be prepared in the event that there is something that occurs, and having, again, that relationship and that community and that open communication with our businesses as well is so vital and important. And that's part of the reason why the city invests in an entertainment policing team unit. Those special teams that Sergeant Duran had mentioned are on top of our regular patrol field deputies that other cities. So, you know, these are priorities. These are things that we really focus on highly in our city, and making sure that our city remains safe. And as you mentioned, code enforcement is extremely unique. This is probably one of the very few, less than a handful of cities that I'm aware of that has a 7-day operation that operates almost 24/7. So when, yes. Yeah, and when Jessica Benitez mentioned it's a busy unit, processing over 8,000 service requests for a 1.9 square mile, 35,000 residents, that easily swells to over 100,000 over the weekend. You can only imagine how busy that unit really is. But thank you, Catherine, for that. Yeah. So I think with that, I know, as I mentioned, we do have a shuttle that's right on San Vicente, down the stairs from the library. We'll see you at the West Hollywood Sheriff Station, and please speak with any one of us about any additional questions. Thank you so much.
So I just wanted to go over a couple things here with the station. I'm going to take everybody in 7 at a time. So we'll do three different groupings. In the meantime, while you guys are out here waiting for your time to come inside the station, we have our newest patrol car out here for you guys to take a look at. Feel free to get in it, check out the back seats, check out the front. I have Deputy Peralta here from our entertainment policing team. He can show you how the light system works on these cars. So feel free to take pictures, do whatever you want with the car. When we go inside the station, please no photography or videotaping, and please don't have any type of flammable or weapons on you, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take you in 7 at a time. We're gonna do a quick little walk of the base area of our station to kind of go over a couple things. When we get to our dispatch area, if you guys can keep pretty quiet, they are answering live 911 calls and live calls for service. So I'll start taking you guys in 7 at a time if you guys want to break off into groups, and then I'll come back out. So over here to our left is our new real-time watch center. This is where our drone program is going to take place once it's up and running. The DFR, drone is first responder. This is where the deputy that's going to operate that drone sits. Currently on the screen you'll see a simulating drone recording. That's not our actual drone that's being flown right now. That's essentially what it'll look like. The screen just above it is what we call a flight tracker. It sees the flight data that's going over the city of West Hollywood, airplanes, helicopters, drones, anything that's up. You can see on that screen, it's kind of hard to see, it's a little yellow airplane. It looks like a small little fixed wing airplane currently flying over West Hollywood, and a large commercial airliner kind of a little bit to the west. So that type of system will be up and running when our drone is up and running. That way we can see what's going on when our drone is in the sky. The screens above it, those are our real-time cameras. These are the first 2 that we have. We're gonna have over 50 more, hopefully by the end of the year. So that's kind of it. That's a basic overview of our station. This area that you guys just went through is the main hub of our station. This is where all the activity is. The rest of the station is more administrative and offices. There's a gym, things like that are here at the station. Typically we don't take people through that when we do our tour. But again, this is the main hub. This is where all the action is essentially.
Welcome to Station 7, one of the 2 stations covering West Hollywood. So we have 7th and 8th.
Cool.
All right. So for the 3 mile square, we cover a mile and a half, they cover a mile and a half. So we're a very, very busy city, so a very busy station. Most of our calls are EMS and not fires, thank you.
What are MS?
But medicals, so we have to take care of most of the medical calls. And that's probably 95% of the county in which we have medicals, right? So the equipment that you see here, we do have a paramedic squad.
Cool. Which is normally right here.
Normally parked right here, so they're out and about on the way back. And then we do have a full paramedic engine. And then a battalion chief vehicle. So this is the battalion headquarters.
There's the squad now.
So there's our squad. Of course, like I said, I'm the overtime captain here today. My normal assignment, I'm now assigned to prevention as a fire captain. So I have the Glendora office on the east side. All right, so I'm in a 40-hour kind of fire marshal status. In the suburban area, it is positioned in a way that from your station to your furthest outpost within 4 to 6 minutes.
Okay.
Without the desert, it's 6 to 8 minutes.
Gotcha.
So that's how they'll position the engines. And then, of course, based on the budget of that city. Schmeda Incorporated, LA West Hollywood, is a contracted city. So we have three ways of where the county will protect you. It's unincorporated, and LA County is the jurisdiction of that. We do have contracted cities. We have 88 of them. LA West Hollywood is one of them. And then we have fee-for-services, where we take over a city because they can't provide services for themselves, and now it becomes fee-for-services. So we have three ways of handling. All right. We do have neighboring cities. So Beverly Hills is one of our neighboring fire departments that would assist, and we also have LA City.
We do have a lot of newer firefighters, newer engineers, and things like that. So when they come to the city, training is our biggest thing. We want to make sure we prepare them to when we get the bell, when the bell goes off. So there's some times that we'll go down the street and we have a new firefighter or a new engineer. Like, hey, stick that building. Let's see what you do. Perform. We want them to get as much practice as they can before they have to go live and for the real thing. So that's why there's some times that we'll be riding down the city, riding through the streets. If they're open, most of the time, it's better to do it when they're open as opposed to at night when the streets are packed, when everybody's on the street. So we'll do that sometimes.
All right.
Thank you for your service.
Oh, you're welcome.